Let Bishop David G. Evans steer you towards some of the most meaningful, life-altering times with our Creator in Conversations.
God says, I want to have a conversation with you. Why? Right now, my thoughts are higher than yours. My ways are a little different than yours.
Man himself is the fruit of a conversation. God talking to Jesus, Jesus talking to the Holy Ghost talking back to God. They're having a conversation concerning you.
But if you start talking to me, you'll get to understand my ways and my thoughts. So God wants this conversation so we can ultimately become all He's created us to be.
I know the thoughts I have concerning you. And I just want to have a conversation with you so you can hear what I'm thinking about you.
Cultivate the most important relationship you'll ever have. Order Conversations today.
Adversary.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Are you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to OnPointe, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device around the world at David G. Evans 1, at David G. Evans, the #1. Won't you share with someone right now? Reach out to someone. Like, subscribe to the OnPointe broadcast. We are so honored that you've taken the time to join us again. Well, make sure you hit that notification button so you know every time that we're coming on. You can be a part of this wonderful conversation that we have week in and week out. And it's only really wonderful because of the help of the Lord and your participation. So I'm just so glad you've joined us again. To our regular audience, to those of you watching us for the very first time, joining us for the very first time, welcome to the OnPointe experience. Our call-in numbers are 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. We discuss all kinds of subjects, but always from the kingdom biblical point of view. So that means we're even able to disagree and be agreeable while we're doing it, because we endeavor to stay within the realm of the kingdom of God when we have our conversations with you every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Of course, joining me once again is my world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas A. Smith. Hey, man, how you doing?
How are you?
Looks like a very busy week in the world this week.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm just excited about what we're going to talk about today, but also excited about what our callers have to say, their perspectives on State of the Union, their perspectives on the Ukraine involvement events, the perspective on dropping the mask mandate all over the country. I want to hear what you have to say. And then there are those location interests that we have, what's going on, not just in Russia and Ukraine, but also Florida and Texas, and what's happening with the Supreme Court, and all those things which are relevant to your life that you have to have an understanding, but also have a kingdom perspective. And that's what we hope to help you with every time you join us. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. So what did you feel about the State of the Union?
Honestly, I forgot it was on.
You forgot?
I was doing something, but I forgot it was on. So I watched the last half of it.
Okay.
But I read some stuff about it.
Mm-hmm.
From the petty to the important.
Yeah.
People still hung up on how he talks. Not realizing he overcame a stutter and all this stuff like that.
Okay.
But, I mean, at least he can complete a sentence.
Yeah.
Like, come on, y'all. Get over that.
And at least every other word isn't fantastic and outstanding and amazing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We got a clear talking president for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. But from what I read overall, he hit on most of the major points.
Mm-hmm.
Centrist stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Which was good.
Mm-hmm.
He got a little heat on the defund the police from certain, not defunding the priests, certain,
Yeah, but he's not
people.
talking about taking money away. He's talking about the whole defund thing. I think was they didn't control the narrative like they should have.
Yes.
Nobody with any sense in an urban community thinks you need to have less police.
Yes.
That's just
Now anywhere.
anywhere.
Yeah.
So that whole took that piece and ran with it. Is acting like, okay, we're in favor of keeping people unprotected.
Yeah. You're right. They should have called it something else instead of
Yeah.
defund the police. Let's navigate this budget, which they should do, to better resources. Keep the police budget good, and then use some of that money for drug, stuff
I
like
always
that.
thought the explanation when they were telling us what they were trying to do by using that term
Yeah.
would have been better than using the term.
Yeah. Exactly. Explain what you mean.
Yes.
Instead of let's putting all this money locking people up, let's put some money towards rehab.
Better training,
Better.
different kind of psychological
Yeah.
training, all that kind of stuff.
And the problem is, again, they don't. The right is good at one thing. Well, a few things. They know they're good at taking something and twisting it.
Oh, yeah.
And twisting it and beating it to us down. So if all you hear is defund the police,
Yeah. And well, they're good at messaging a negative.
yeah,
The Democrats are not good at messaging a positive.
yeah,
If you're in office, you can be on international television whenever you want to. I think you ought to just take advantage of that pulpit at the moment.
yeah. And
I want to talk to you guys tonight. This is what I'm going to talk to you about. You need to know what's going on.
yeah.
I'm trying to do this.
Yep,
They won't let me do that.
yep,
I need you to get in contact with your representatives.
yeah. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, here you go.
And just call it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I overall thought it was cool. Then of course the Babbitt, whatever her name is, Bobart, the one Congress lady, when she
Yeah.
yelled out about her son, when he talked about his son.
Okay.
You didn't hear about that?
No.
So he was talking about those kids who were the men who died in Afghanistan, and her and I think Marjorie Taylor Greene
Okay, yeah.
jumped up and kind of said something when he mentioned something about his son.
At the address?
At the address, yes.
they,
It
didn't want
reminded,
they didn't want him talking about his son?
well, kind of like, well, you let these 13 people die.
What
in
13?
I don't care. I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't remember
Okay.
that part. I just know I remember when I turned it on, I heard something, and then it reminded me of the "You Lie" thing.
Yeah.
With Obama.
It sounded like they were waiting for something to criticize. But they're not interested. Some people are not interested in their perception. I think they like looking bonkers.
Yeah, because that feeds their base.
So their base actually likes them looking ridiculous?
Yes, because this is what some.
Somebody speaking up for us?
Yes, this is what some are saying. It's deep when they say Biden is a greater threat to us than Putin is. So that whole praising Putin, kind of siding with him a little bit.
They're supposed to be Americans. They're supposed to be Americans, and they are American political figures. They're. I think part of the problem is our president has heavy weapons, but he insists on wiping their brows. He needs to meet them on the ground that they understand. And that means exerting his power and exerting the authority of the majority. Because the Republicans certainly are going to do it. They've proven their pattern is there.
Yeah.
They're going to be reckless and do what they want to do, regardless of the consequences when they're in the majority.
Right. Yeah.
So if you want to get something done, let's ask them first to participate. But when they clearly say they don't want to participate, you do what you got to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Play hardball with them a little
Yes,
bit.
if they want to reverse it after they get in, but it won't be because you did not do what you said you were going to do.
Yeah. I think the one thing I don't like about Democrats is we eat our own. Republicans, they'll disagree with the person.
Yeah,
But
publicly, they'll hold them up.
they'll hold them up.
Although McConnell has surprised me in the last week or so. He surprised me in the last week or so. Some of his comments have been will know this siding with Russia is not a good thing. And I was surprised he did that.
Yeah. Well, he's established enough. He's appealing to the conservative base and the other side. He's playing politics. He's good at it.
Okay.
Versus the Marjorie Taylor Greene, another lady, and that guy starts with an M.
Yeah, they have Manchin. You mean?
No, the other guy.
I know who you mean. They Marjorie Taylor Greene have no end game. McConnell has an end game.
Yes.
And since they have no end game, they say things that they don't understand negatively impacts their end game.
Yes, which makes conservative Republicans not get
Very
down
nervous.
with them.
Very nervous. Yes.
Versus McConnell knows how to play both sides.
And I think I told you this before. I was in a meeting with some high income individuals, and they have a way of. This young guy was in the group, and he was being very, very aggressive and very over the top. And what settled the whole meeting down was the wealthy guys. And this guy was doing real well. The wealthy guy, the leader of the wealthy group, said, "You're making us all very uncomfortable." And the young guy understood the language and settled himself down immediately.
Okay.
These people, Marjorie Taylor Greene and those people, are making people uncomfortable in ways that affect their ability to work with them behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that a McConnell wants to be likened with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah. No. It's like AOC and the other girls when they first came in. I'm sorry, girls. Other ladies when they came in.
You're getting old.
I know. Talking real loud, saying a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And they had to come to Jesus meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Keep your platform.
Yeah.
But we need you to bring in how you're.
That's right.
And they've been kind of calm since.
Well, they had to be, because there were some things they wanted to get done, and they're not going to get them done that way.
Yeah.
They actually thought they were going to force their way through, which is why they thought all of them would be a better pick than Pelosi.
Yeah.
But they don't have the skill set Pelosi has.
Absolutely.
They don't understand how that thing actually works.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I don't think most of us understand how it really works.
No. To be able to negotiate both sides, and there's a shrewdness.
There's deals being cut that we don't know anything about.
Of course.
Let's go to Tom in Florida. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick?
Hey, man.
Good to hear from you, man.
Likewise. Pastor Nick was talking about a moment ago about how they were talking about heckling the president. Well, it was horrible.
Was it? You're listening to yourself, Tom. You got to turn that down.
Yes, I am, and I never do that, but I can't get it off. Hold on a minute.
I'm going to put you in the club with Kife.
No, please, no. Don't do that.
Kife's our boy. Yeah.
Yeah, what happened was because I couldn't get you on one of my other things, that got you on two different devices.
Okay.
What happened? Tyler Green, or whatever kicks in, is they were outright heckling the president like crazy in the beginning of the speeches.
I didn't think that was allowed.
I didn't think so either, but it was pretty obnoxious.
Don't they have a sergeant at arms in those places?
They're doing it. Yeah, I mean, there's stuff there, but they're saying quick stuff, not like it's their whole disruption.
Okay. But they were loud.
Yeah, but you heard them.
Yeah, even a couple other Republicans came out and said it was wrong. That, he's still a president no matter what.
So they actually heckled him?
Oh, yeah. As much as they could, they were being, the cameras weren't giving them airtime, but every once in a while the camera would go over, and when he would say something, they would stand up and, shout out, wrong or whatever. So
I honestly don't believe they belong in the office. And
definitely not.
It's funny, this morning when I was preparing to come, I started wondering how some people actually got elected. And the people elected, tell me what you think about this, Tom. I think that people that are elected are a symptom that's of some things that are going wrong with the voters. They are a symptom of a condition that exists among American voters now. When Marjorie Taylor Greene and those types of people can get elected, when President Trump can get elected to office, I think these are symptoms of conditions that are going on in the American population. What do you think?
I totally agree. Well, I'm going to back that up by saying I have friends who are associates, I'm going to say now, that I used to hang out with,
Yeah.
who I keep close to me on Facebook so I can see what they're saying.
Okay.
But, they don't see what I'm saying because when I send certain things out, I don't send it to them.
Okay.
I look at what they're saying, and they're hooked on a lot of this rhetoric that I would have thought these people. I'm not talking. I'm talking VPs, directors of opera. I'm talking some powerful people that I used to work with. And I'm thinking, do you really think that way? And they are, they've been brainwashed to an extent. I believe. I'm not quite sure what the problem is totally.
Well, there is a spiritual explanation, Tom. And that is that the rhetoric is appealing to an offense that already exists in these people that you know. And what it took was for this rhetoric to bring this offense to the surface. So these are not sudden revelations. They're sudden revelations to us because we didn't see it in these people before. But there's been something stewing for a long time. That it was,
and
yeah.
And I believe what you're saying is that Trump allowed them to bring it out.
Mm-hmm. There was an offense existing, and the condition allowed them to articulate the offense. And what's amazing about it is people embarrass themselves when the emotion is too strong for them to restrain themselves. They normally think about, I've embarrassed myself after they've done it.
Yeah.
Something I posted yesterday. Emotions will make your thinking drunk. Your thoughts will become drunk based on a strong emotion. But thinking will sober up your emotions.
Mm.
So they're so fired up that their thought patterns are inebriated. And a lot of people make the mistake that way.
You say that, and if you actually go back and look at the tapes of the speech, they look like two drunken idiots.
Okay.
When they look like they were totally out of control.
Okay.
It's not like they were even in control of themselves while they were doing it. It's not like if you could sit back and observe as an outside observer and look at them, man, are they under the influence? Because they just looked out of control. The other thing, Bishop, I read something this morning. It's almost hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor of Kiev, which is I'm not sure what to pronounce his name right, Vladimir Klitschko, the boxer.
Mm-hmm.
He said he actually has helped kill 6 people this past week in the name of the Ukraine.
Okay.
And war is absolutely terrifying and completely insane. And, for him to, go from the part about kill 6 people, but now to admit that it's absolutely terrifying and insane, and something needs to be done. It's crazy what's going on over there. And that one person can inflict all this harm on the world.
Yeah. And I wonder when the UN is going to accuse him of war crimes and start moving towards that.
Yeah, I know they're doing some stuff now. Yeah.
But they've got a Russian on the committee that prevents them from condemning him outright.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I know they got the sanctions first.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of those billionaires are hiding their yachts in the Maldives now.
Yeah, they're gonna go get them.
Yeah, they shut down some of their money.
They're going to get them.
Germany?
They shut down some of their money.
Yeah, they're going to get them.
Yeah, but I think Biden froze their accounts over here.
Well, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, the rich ones.
Yeah.
So they're gonna start applying some pressure.
And England needs to do it too, because a lot of them hang out there.
Yeah.
In England, one of the oligarchs owns the most expensive soccer team in England. He's selling it.
Yeah.
He's getting ahead of the curve.
They're coming after him.
Germany's already declared they're taking their stuff. So
and their people, you know, they're getting arrested. They arrested a 96-year-old Russian woman for protesting in the streets. The Russians are out there like, yo, we don't want to go to war with, you know.
Yeah. But I don't think Putin cares about that.
No, he doesn't.
Getting back to something you said, Marjorie Taylor Greene and them. I didn't understand politicians' behavior until I understood their top 3 priorities. Get elected, get elected, get elected.
Yep.
So they don't mind making themselves look foolish as long as the people voting for them keep voting for them.
Yep.
It's amazing. Tom, we got to go to Danny from Lauderhill, Florida. You Florida guys are always on top, man.
and ask him about the governor.
I will. Well, I saw something with your governor and some students I thought was really way over the line.
That made mess down here, but take care.
That black mom was upset.
Was she?
Oh, yeah.
Talk to you, Tom. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Let's talk this morning, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267, Evans. Give us a call. We're going to Danny in Lauderhill, Florida. Hey, Danny, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing? Pastor Nick, staff. How's everyone?
All right. And Tom said to ask you about the dust-up between the governor and the kids.
Yes, definitely. That's one of the points that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
And it was so disgraceful, and there was no tact to it at all. And for the first time, the people had a chance to see him as he really is. The situation was they were doing a photo op.
Right.
So they were going to have some high school students to attend, to be there, and they were supposed to be nothing but bobbleheads that he usually has with him.
Okay.
The only thing you do, you don't ask questions, you don't say anything, you just move your head up and down. Not left or right, but up and down.
Okay.
So the students appeared there, and they came with masks on.
Okay.
And as he approached the podium, he lit into these kids. He said, "This is not a mass performance as such.
Wow.
You don't do this. You take the mask off." A few of them did, some of them did not. And it was just totally embarrassing that they wanted to use these kids. And, I mean, it was just a shame.
So what has been the public's reaction? And is it just a bunch of waving hands in the air, or are people actually incensed enough to alter their opinions about this individual?
The situation has been is that since that particular incident, we have not seen him. Every day before that, he would take every opportunity for anything to get on the news or be exposed to the media.
Okay.
Okay? If somebody swept the street, he would try to get in there and say, "I did this."
Okay.
But after this particular incident, and everyone had a chance to see him as he really is, why would you attack some kids? Because even though you're saying, and you have everyone else to say it's okay to take your mask off, but you say that it's optional. It's personal preference. So if these kids wanted to put their mask on,
they should have been allowed to do so.
With the mask on, why are you scolding them like that and then doing it in the public nationally, internationally, so everybody could see it? They're just kids.
Wow. Well, you know what? I don't think he's shown much compassion for the population that he governs. So why would he start showing it now? I mean, this was the guy when COVID was just mowing down Florida. He was lifting restrictions, not putting them in place. I mean, he fired the lady that was giving him the right information.
Exactly. And you hit the nail on the head when you said before this whole situation started that it's all a money situation. COVID has not left Florida.
Oh, I'm sure it hasn't.
We don't have any statistics anymore. We have no numbers.
Really?
If we get any numbers, it'll be a percentage.
Murphy's going to stop his briefings on COVID, I think this week, next week, be his last one. They are moving on.
They're getting ready to have a problem.
And what we have now, what they want to clear the air for, Bishop, is spring break.
Yep.
They want that cleared out. They want to get the ship sailing.
The arrogance of human beings to think that they can actually legislate what a virus will do is mind-boggling to me.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since the virus has shown that it does not recognize any of the rules that we put in place for it. So if we don't even follow the suggestions of the patterns, we are asking ourselves for more trouble. I believe, just like you do, that they're getting ready for spring break, which means we're going to have another issue. That, you know, I want to be wrong this time. We have not been wrong yet. This is a problem. This is a problem. And I'm not saying I'm getting a word from the Lord. I'm simply adept at pattern recognition. And the patterns speak that now that we're lowering the mask, going to basketball games, sitting in stadiums, screaming at the top of our lungs, football games we just came off of, screaming at the top of our lungs, sitting shoulder to shoulder, people are going to concerts and all this other stuff, sitting shoulder to shoulder, screaming at the top of their lungs, we're going to have another issue. And now they're pushing people back together without any restraints at all. COVID knows nothing about these rules and these moves they're making. All COVID knows is that you're giving it a place to multiply.
And the other situation that we're having here is that certain medications here in Florida are difficult to get now.
Really?
Yes, I was at the pharmacy the other day, and I was going to ask a question about something, and then I was like about the third or fourth person in line, and this gentleman was there. This was about the third store that he had been to, because they sent him all over the county trying to find a certain medication that he needed for his pressure.
Okay.
And they didn't have it available, so they sent him from store to store. But long story short, it's just not available. I thought that they were pulling some kind of scheme or something on the guy, but the guy was exactly right, that they were out of, it wasn't available, no matter what establishment you went to. And they said that they've been out of it for about a month.
So when demand for something goes up, the price to purchase it can go up.
Yes.
And the price to purchase it go up is usually consistent with the stock price going up.
Exactly.
And I think the pharmaceutical industry has been playing this game for quite a while.
Yes.
So I would not be surprised in your state, based upon some historic things that have happened, that certain people at the top are invested in these companies. And they're professing a shortage and driving the price up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a conspiracy guy, but there's been enough of this that you can't recognize the pattern.
Exactly. The other thing that I wanted to say, and I'll get off, is that we got to watch this situation with this critical race.
Oh, man.
Because
Most of us don't even know what it
Know
is.
what it is.
That's the point, Bishop. That's the point.
And then they're saying they're teaching it. They're not teaching it.
Not teaching it.
They haven't been teaching it as long as I've been in school.
But they labeled anything Black history or anything that makes them feel
They
uncomfortable.
put it under that heading.
It's critical race.
That's
theory.
critical race.
Yes.
They put it under that
You
heading.
can say with,
So-
you know,
They really
Well,
don't
wait.
want to talk about the fact that we exist. That's a problem.
Exactly. Or who was the original settler? Like in our state of Florida, we get no true history of Florida.
But
who
here's
the
this.
settlers were.
Are they going to wipe out the history of every immigrant nation that has been a nationality that has been established in this country? So that means the Irish, the Italians, the Asians,
Yep.
the Europeans. Are you going to wipe out all of these?
yeah, they no, it's only things that make them feel uncomfortable.
Well, they should be
As the-
uncomfortable
as
about
the-
Irish people living in ghettos, Italian people living in ghettos.
Yeah.
They should have been uncomfortable about that history, the discrimination that they had to put up with. So they're going to eliminate them from history? They don't feel guilty about what they did?
no.
Okay,
That's a blip on the-
because
in
it's
the
a bunch
history.
of crap. That's
It
what
is.
it is.
It is.
They're
I
not.
have-
They're
I
not
have-
guilty.
Yeah.
I have an expression that I use. They don't want my story, but they want his story.
Okay. I get it. We got to go, man.
Bishop, thank you so much.
Tell my sister I said hello.
We'll do. God bless you.
Bye-bye. Next is Angela and then Kiefe. Angela from Kentucky. Hey, Angela, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop Evans. Good morning, Pastor Nick.
Morning.
How are you?
Doing pretty good.
What's happening down in the bluegrass state?
Bluegrass. It's still bluegrass.
Is it actually? Does it actually have a blue tinge to it?
Certain kinds of grass in certain areas, it does have that blue hue to it, but everybody doesn't have bluegrass in their front yard. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's a trademark thing. My question is about Biden. Lovingly referred to as Uncle Joe.
Okay.
Uncle Joe has been in Congress for a very long time. Mm-hmm. He knows how things work. And I'm wondering if some of his passivity, being as passive as he is because he wants to be president and speak for the Democrats, but still has very strong ties with the Republican Party.
I think that he thought he did. I think his first 12 months proved that he did not have the relationships that he thought he did, because he thought they were influential relationships when they were actually acquaintances.
Wow.
And what has caused the audit of their relationships has been his presidency and the fact that he's a Democrat. Now, he was okay as a Democrat until he became president.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, what he thought was a real bona fide relationship was revealed as nothing but an acquaintance.
So then why does he not take this opportunity, since he knows he doesn't have those connections that he thought he had, to just do what the agenda calls for?
Well, number one, I think his team around him is basically inept. Because they miss, it doesn't appear as though anyone's arguing with him about what we need to do and what we need to say. Everything seems to be conciliatory to me. And that is not the strength of the presidency. That's not the strength of any leadership position in any context. All your actions cannot be to satisfy everyone. Right. And in the political context, it's impossible to satisfy everyone. So you end up having to do what's right for the people that elected you. And since the country was divided, they're always divided in elections. Since the country was divided in a presidential election, you go into an understanding that the people that didn't vote for you probably are not going to support much of what you do. So you have to rein in your majority. And I think he doesn't want to fight.
I know he's a nice guy. I get that. But he's been in Congress and around that atmosphere so much of his life. He has a better understanding of how it works than any of us ever will.
But the rules change.
It seems like at this age and with this agenda that he should be pushing stronger, in my opinion. He should be pushing it as strong as possible.
Absolutely.
He seems to still want to be, the reach across the aisle, make you believe what I believe. They're never going to
they're not.
believe that agenda is important. They're never going to forsake their, all of their profits and the money that they make to, help bring an evenness to the country. The country was built on not being even.
Yeah.
Why in the world would he not take this opportunity a little more aggressively and get some things done before he is out of office completely?
I tell you what I think. I think that in boxing terms, he has not been hit on the break enough to realize that he is not in a prize fight. He's in a street fight.
That's good.
There are no rules in a street fight, and that's what he's in. He's still trying to fight by the rules. He's bringing a water gun to an Uzi fight.
Oh wow.
So wow. he's like He's like Joe in the Three Stooges. He's hurling words at them, and they are not affected by words. So
But
he's
he
got
knows that.
well,
He
but
knows that.
but
He
but he's still
understands that.
trying to be the guy that got along with everybody, but he hasn't fully understood. I think his people haven't understood that since he became president, the dynamic of his relationships has been altered permanently.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
They've been altered permanently. It's not.
But do you think he doesn't believe that?
I think he still thinks he can. I think based on his former relationships, I still think he thinks he can be persuasive, even though they're throwing rocks in his face.
Right.
But his advisors around him, to me, appear to be so idealistic that it's making the administration seem soft at times.
Right.
Now, he has come out strong on this whole Ukraine sanctions. He's done a real good job with that. As far as getting his agenda passed, he's still trying to do it. Come on, let's work together. Come on, can't we sit down and reason together? And I understand he's a man of faith.
And I understand all of that.
But
it
there's a
seems
time
like
for
he
war,
has
according
seen
to the Bible.
pattern. Exactly. A time and a season.
Yes.
And he would understand that better than any of us.
But, some people don't like the combative part of the faith.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel saved.
And there's a way to do it.
I don't
Yeah.
think
With wisdom,
anybody
yeah.
does, But when you don't have a choice, you have to fight.
Well, he's time. I think the other thing that his people, his group around him, does not realize. The people that voted for him, the people in America don't measure time the same way politicians do.
Okay.
It's what frustrates the average American with doing business with Asian business people. When you have people like us who measure things in days and weeks and months, trying to negotiate with someone who measures things in patterns of dynasties. Dynasties are 100 years long.
That's good. That's real
We
good.
measure stuff in decades and months and years.
That's
So
good.
our idea about time is completely different. He's got to understand his idea about his relationships have changed radically. And he's got to take the hint. Okay, they're not going to cooperate. I thought they were my buddies. We did get along, but I wasn't president. If he can accept that and his team can accept that, they can move some stuff forward and not worry about how the Republicans feel, because they certainly don't care how Democrats feel.
Do you think that as he watched the Obama administration come to this same standstill, that he would kind of learn and adjust? Or do you think that he thought, I can still be the vice president, and the only reason that we're having all these filibusters is because it's a man of color?
Well, I think
And when
he
it's
watched.
me, they're gonna
Yeah,
come around.
absolutely.
They're gonna see the light.
You're
and
saying exactly.
We're gonna, all skip off
Exactly.
into the sunset together.
Exactly. There's no reason for a person with that much experience not to feel as though, okay, here's how I can make a difference. There's no reason. So
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think he thought his perception that the opposition was against President Obama alone was
Right.
largely right, but was not completely right.
Right. Well, I appreciate being able to talk to you guys. Pastor Nick, I'm looking forward to communion, the communion
tomorrow.
teaching tonight, because I've been really learning a lot from it. Oh,
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I've been learning a lot from it, and I really appreciate the time and study that you put into that
Absolutely.
as you present that on Sundays for
Yeah, he's
communion.
doing a phenomenal job with communion.
Yeah. Thank you.
All
Phenomenal
right, you
job.
guys keep up the good work.
Yep.
You stay strong now.
Take care.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is On Point. We've got about
Yeah.
20 minutes. We're going to talk to Kiefe, and then we're going to talk to a new caller named Robin.
Yes.
Let's go to 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Pastor Nick, why do you think that Biden seems to be slow on the draw as it relates to accepting the political environment that we're in?
Part of me wonders if precedent.
Okay.
So the previous president and them, they just kind of just push stuff through.
Mm-hmm.
He may be trying to maintain some decorum of that's not the way to do it. Forget the other side and just do what you want. We got to do this together.
So how long do you think it's going to take before he suddenly gets the revelation that they're not going to
That they're
cooperate?
not going to cooperate.
Yeah.
I think he needs to realize, what things we can politic on, and some things we just need to push right through.
Right.
While we're in,
Because we're not going to agree on
because
them.
they're not going to agree to it, no matter what.
If you're totally opposed to it, why should I seek your cooperation?
Yeah. And they set the precedent for it. The Republicans did.
Yes, they did.
But
they forget that stuff very quickly. They forget that very quickly.
Yeah, because like the governor of Iowa did the response to the Supreme Court, and she kept the American people.
Okay.
And all she talking about, I'm like, I don't agree with that. But again, I hate when you say it all the time. They use that American people phrase.
Well, I resent that
Yeah.
because I don't know when I became excluded from the American people.
Yeah. Yes.
And are they talking about their constituency? So is it possible that politicians think that their neighborhood represents the world?
Yeah. And they're trying to stick to that narrative that the majority of Americans want something, but you haven't polled or even talked to the majority of Americans.
The majority of Americans don't vote for you.
Exactly. You're in Iowa, so you got a certain group that's going to vote for you.
Even if a president who's been elected has the massive margins that Biden had over Trump, he cannot say the American people.
Yes.
He can say the majority of the
Yes.
American people.
Yes.
But not lay the blanket out like all of us have the same opinion.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yep.
Let's talk to Kife. Hello, Kife. How are you? Kife. Kife. Kife.
Hello.
We waiting for you, Kife. Hello. Call us back, Kife. Robin, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop and Pastor Nick. How are you?
Oh my, she's being so bright and sunny this morning. What?
And I'm gonna get y'all too. I heard y'all laughing at me.
When?
We got a new caller, Robin, and last week too, when Keith said what he said.
What?
Keith, don't forget, turn your radio down. I'm gonna get you back.
What? I don't recall any of this.
Right. Right. But I'm not gonna be long. I'm getting.
Oh Lord.
No, I'm getting ready for work.
Okay.
I gotta get to work. This morning.
Okay.
But I have a testimony and just one question.
Okay.
When you was teaching on the Holy Spirit, I don't know if it was before the pandemic.
Yes.
And how I've learned about how to listen to the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Well, I was on my way to Walmart. This was a couple years ago, the POG, I think before the pandemic. And it was like maybe 10 minutes to 12 in the evening, because I think I got home to Delaware, whatever. So I was like, let me go run in here because they like to close. I can get in there, get what I need to get. Spirits, go home, go tomorrow. I said, no, I'm going to just go in now. Spirits, go home. Go ahead, I did, because the next morning I heard there was a shooting in there.
Wow.
5 minutes before I would have went in.
Wow.
So, yeah, so I thank you for teaching on the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
Yesterday, 2 days ago, I usually go sit at BJ's to wait for a ride.
Okay.
Spirit was saying, no, go sit at Walmart.
Okay.
So I listened. I went to Walmart. So I come through there. It was a 4-car accident. So I said, see, God, you was letting me know I could have been in that accident. So I thank you for teaching on the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
Because that's really helped me. But I have a question. I was told that the reason Ukraine is getting what they're getting, which I don't believe, that's why I'm asking you, is because of what they did to the Syrian people. And I have to Google and do some research on that. What did they do to the Syrian people for the person to tell me that's why they're getting this from Russia?
Who'd you hear that from?
Where'd you hear that from?
Well, you know how you be reading stuff, so that's why.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem.
Right. No, I mean, I read things, and I'm not sure. I always ask you.
Well,
that's why I like the platform on point, so I can ask you.
Here's what I think about that comment in general.
Okay.
There are not too many major nations that have not acquired things from other nations that they claim for themselves. And if nations got comeuppance based upon what they did, and I believe in the reap and sow process, most nations would spend their time trying to recover from their past deeds. So every history has I think, some stains on it, and it comes to national growth. Because nations don't grow without crimes.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, they don't grow without crimes.
Basically.
So I don't think Ukraine's situation right now is based upon what they did, but it should bring some relevance to what they've done in their history. It should put a new light on it. If they are guilty of something like what they're experiencing now, it should put a new light on what they did in their past.
Right.
But
And you can't believe everything you read. That's why I always
I'm perfectly sure that God's not going to take out on the entire nation
Oh,
something.
no, especially the
something,
kids. That's what's
yeah,
hurting
that doesn't
me.
make any sense.
All them kids.
Doesn't
yeah.
make
But
sense.
what did y'all think about the Super Bowl? I know we haven't talked about football, and that's my last
I
comment.
thought it was an excellent game.
It was. It was really
Finally.
good, especially the halftime show.
Finally.
You know, I'm a 90s, well, I'm a 60s baby, but I'm a 90s music.
Okay.
You're a 90s music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
Okay, that was the one with all the rappers and stuff?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
yeah,
that-
Dr. Dre.
that's the
Snoop
one-
Dogg. He
that's-
always wearing his shades. He must be high all the time.
Is that the one that Derek did the, or did he do the one before that?
He did Lift Every Voice.
He lifted
before the game.
Lift Every Voice,
Before the
okay.
game, yeah.
Yeah, he produced
Oh,
that.
gosh. Oh, I'm getting off, but if I ever need to be bailed out, and the reason why I'm saying this, people getting in my car, Bishop, smelling like weed. If I ever get pulled over and they want to take me and thinking I got weed in the car, I'm going to call you and Pastor Nick. I'm letting y'all know ahead of time. I mean, it's so strong. I can smell it through my mask.
Wow.
Open that window.
Yeah, so
Open that window, girl.
I do. So just, if I ever call y'all late at night, you know why.
All right.
Bless you. Love you guys.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Now Kife's back. Hey, Kife, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
All right. Glad you made it back, man.
Yeah. I was trying not to laugh at my sister Robin's comment on that one.
Well, you know.
Oh man, Robin, she's a handful. Sorry, Robin. I love you, sis. My thing is this. I was listening to you on what you're talking about with Biden, the administration, this war we're having, and not just in Florida and Texas. I'm trying to just, let me just say this: live each day to the fullest while making each day count. And my question for you and Pastor Nick is, what has gone on wrong that we the other states are not? Are we trying to follow? Is New Jersey or Pennsylvania or even Delaware? Are we going to follow what's happening in Florida and Texas? Or are we going to do our own thing? Just because Texas has done this, Florida has done this.
As it relates to COVID or something else?
Yeah, COVID, the mask restrictions. Because I think I was reading some of the comments myself because I'm watching it on my tablet. Even if I'm working indoors, I'm still wearing my mask.
You got that right.
Yeah, I'm not
Got
moving
that
for
right.
anything unless And my thing is this: was that in your words? Do you think that was wrong for it to be so early? Because COVID is still flying.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think if we ever want to get back to quote unquote normal, we can't do things we're late in the game because we have not reacted properly at all. You can't do anything that's going to encourage the spread of the virus. You've got to shut it down as much as possible to get this thing to come under control. But decisions are being made as it relates to money.
Right.
And popularity.
Right. My other thing was this, and I'm saying to myself, as I hear about it, or not hear about it, but read it, like say newsfeed on my phone or whatever. I'm saying to this, I think they were wrong in lifting the mask mandate, because if you're saying that you're not going to get the vaccine, not going to get the booster shot, you are worrying other people that are around you.
That's right.
And I'm saying to this, and I know all the other viewers are watching this, if you're around other people, and especially, if you're working or, seeing this, wear your mask regardless of what they have done.
That's
because
right.
you're
Yeah.
starting to get worried other people.
Well, here's the
If you're not
problem.
going to get
Here's
the
the
mask
problem.
mandate, the vaccine
Yeah.
or the booster shot. I mean, you're starting to still worry about other people.
Well, here's the
And
thing. Here's the thing, Keith. I'm concerned that the voice of a few people who are not that concerned about protecting themselves nor other people,
Right.
that their voices are being allowed to put those of us that care in danger. You know, during this whole Omicron thing, half the people that I knew that had Omicron had been fully vaccinated.
Right.
So what this tells us is that this thing is morphing. It's becoming a variant that ignores the latest medical advances. Well, you cannot slow this down by putting people in a position where they can spread it more and more every time they come together. Jamming the kids back in school, putting people back in public places, these football games, these baseball games, these basketball games, every time I have to turn them off because I'm looking at the entire bench, no restrictions, no spacing. I'm looking at the crowd behind them, no restrictions, no spacing, and everybody's screaming at the top of their lungs. Now, common sense tells me that's an incubation.
Right.
But I don't get, is the desire for popularity so great that our government is willing to risk other folk just so that the people that say I don't want to do it. So okay, if the mask is an assault on your constitutional rights, why don't you go to work butt naked tomorrow?
Wow.
Is wearing clothing an assault on your rights? If you're driving to work, is stopping at a stoplight an assault on your rights?
Right.
If you're asked not to smoke in a building and you put your cigarette out, are your rights being assaulted? So why is a piece of cloth over your mouth taking away your constitutional rights? It doesn't.
Let me say it this way in response to what you and Pastor Nick have said. You know, I'm praying. I'm sending prayers out to this whole entire nation, and not just here in the United States, everywhere, that they come to their senses and say, "Wait a minute, this COVID thing's still around."
Of course it is. Because it's not going away because we wish it away, as though, our former president said it'll go away in 3 weeks. It ain't going nowhere.
It's been with us for the past 2 years now.
Well, what we got to do is do what my friends overseas have done so they can get back to their normal life.
Yes, and I believe you. And the one thing is that even if when I see it on my phone, the news feeds about this, and it just makes me wonder: have any government in this entire world lost their minds about what they are doing? If you're saying, okay, we're looking at mask mandate, we're looking this, we're looking that, I think y'all dead wrong. They're forgetting about other people.
They're satisfying a squeaky wheel. That's all they're doing. Yeah. All right, Keith, we got to go, man.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for calling again.
Bye.
Well, we've come up to the end of another program. We are asking you, as always, to join us tomorrow, 8 a.m., 9:45 a.m., 11 a.m., and 6 p.m. for our communion celebration. That's tomorrow. You can join us all day long, beginning at 8 a.m. We have another COVID vaccine clinic, March the 10th.
Yep, this coming Thursday.
This coming Thursday from 4 to 7, and March 31st from 4 to 7. You can get the first, second, or third shot. We have Pfizer and Moderna, and the children can come and get their vaccines. So we're having nighttime hours on the 10th and the 31st of March from 4 o'clock in the afternoon till 7 o'clock in the evening. For those of you who work during the day, you don't have to take off work to come after work, and get the vaccines. We had a marvelous clinic the last week for 2 days. Now, if you have a prayer request, email it to us at social. That's social at gotobethany.com. Social at gotobethany.com. Subscribe to our podcast platform. Subscribe to our YouTube at David G. Evans 1, BBC of NJ. And our podcast platforms are DGEMS, DGEMS, and OnPointe. As always, for Pastor Nick.
Quick,
go ahead.
I forgot. You can pick up their communion kits today.
Oh, that's right.
Today and tomorrow from 11 to 2.
Do we have the new ones yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
We still got a bunch of the old ones.
Okay, we got to get rid of the old ones. We got to use the old ones first. We got some new nifty ones coming. You're really gonna like them. As always, we thank you for making this the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call and talk show in America. And for Reverend Nicholas Smith, I'm Bishop Dave G. Evans. Remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. See you next time on OnPointe.